welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. In each episode, we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are taking a look at another Christmas movie as we take a look at Love Actually. And stay tuned for our bonus story as we take a look at the history of the Candlelight Processional. And if you are enjoying these episodes, I do ask that you please hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified with each new episode. Now, sit back and enjoy this episode of Disney Movie Investigation. So like I said, today we're covering Love Actually. This movie was released on November 14th, 2003. It was written and directed by Richard Curtis. The production companies was Studio Canal, Working Title Films, and DNA Films, and it was distributed by Universal Pictures. The budget for this movie was $40 million, and it did a box office return of $250.2 million. So in terms of the production, the initial idea of the film for Love Actually was actually director Curtis writing two different films with expanded storylines. So the idea was that he was going to do two separate films. But he was frustrated by the Hollywood process. So Curtis was inspired by Robert Altman films and wanting to write a film about what love means. So the original concept had 14 different storylines in the movie, but 4 of them would end up getting cut before production started. The film was then rushed after it was greenlighted to be released for the 2003 Christmas season, and the movie was actually shot on location in London, as well at Shepperton Studios. One of the storylines that did get cut was reported that it was the only one featuring a gay love storyline. Universal would release a soundtrack of songs featured in the movie, and it would be released on November 17, 2003. However, different tracks and different order of tracks would be released for a UK version and a US version. The score of the movie would be composed by Craig Armstrong. So in terms of the cast, we have Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Peter, Colin Firth, who plays Jamie, Gregor Fisher, who plays Joe, Hugh Grant plays David, the Prime Minister, Sienna Gilroy plays Jamie's girlfriend, Keira Knightley plays Juliet, Laura Linney plays Sarah, Liam Neeson plays Daniel, Emma Thompson as Karen, and Rowan Atkinson as Rufus. So in terms of the plot, it follows the lives of 8 different couples in dealing with their loves in various loosely interconnected tales set during a frantic month before Christmas in London, England. So in terms of the legacy of the film would actually win a BAFTA award for Best Supporting Actor for Bill Nye. And the film would be nominated for Golden Globes for Best Picture and Best Screenplay. There was planned for a sequel to be released in 2017 called Red Nose Day. And this picked up 14 years after the original film. So it did end up getting filmed, and a movie aired on the BBC on March 24th of 2017. So in terms of recommending this movie, I think it's a great movie. It's a great Christmas movie. It teaches about love, but it doesn't hit you over the head with the Christmas thing. Like it could be set at any time. It's just when love is felt the strongest. I love the different storylines, how they interconnect with each other. And I love how they kind of form their own stories. But again, towards the end, everyone seems to know each other. So I think that's a very strong positive. It's just one of those feel-good Christmas movies, so definitely one I recommend. So as we move on, we're going to take a look at the history of the Candlelight Processional. So this is an annual Christmas event that is held both at Disneyland and as well in Epcot at Walt Disney World. The event was actually created by Walt Disney himself and has become a holiday tradition for many people visiting the parks during the holidays. So in terms of the history, during the first holiday season of Disneyland in 1955, Walt Disney and entertainment director Tommy Walker would work with Dr. Charles C. Hirsch of the USC Thornton School of Music to train national carolers for atmospheric music. Named the Christmas Bowl, they would perform in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle. And during the Christmas season in 1955, the carolers, guest choirs, and school bands would also gather at the Main Street station. The following year, the Disneyland Band would also be invited to participate. This was with great success, and Walt Disney decided that the Candlelight Procession would do well in the park. The first event occurred in 1958 and would be performed in the Central Hub. This was hard to see for guests who would be standing outside of the Central Hub area. So in 1960, the ceremony was moved to Times Square, and bleachers were constructed to form a temp stage on Main Street Station. For the centerpiece of the stage, a living Christmas tree was created by the Western High School student choir. And in 1960 also saw the introduction of the first celebrity narrator, and that was actor Dennis Morgan. In 1981, the living Christmas tree was retired and was taken over by the newly formed Disney Employee Choir. This was made up of volunteer employees of the Disney Company who would form a choir to perform at various events. In 1998, the Candlelight Processional was moved to the Fantasyland Theater, but then it was moved back to Main Street in 2003. In terms of the history at Walt Disney World, in Walt Disney World, the Candlelight Processional was performed at the Magic Kingdom to begin with, and Rock Hudson was the first celebrity narrator. Initially, it was staged in front of Cinderella Castle, and then it would alternate between the Main Street station from year to year. In 1994, the event was moved to Epcot to accommodate the larger crowds, and it has been performed there every year since, with a variety of celebrity narrators. The only exception the year that it wasn't performed was in 2020 because of COVID. So I love the Candlelight Processional. I think it's a great event to see if you're ever down there for the holidays. The celebrities is a who's who of people. Like I know Whoopi Goldberg has done it a bunch of times. The one that I saw was Isabella Rossellini, but they've had Neil Patrick Harris, they've had Tim Allen, they've had Tom Hanks. So it's something that celebrities do come out for, and it is one of the most touching things for you to see, especially with the choir. So thank you so much for joining us here on another episode of Disney Movie Investigation. I would invite anyone to please leave a comment below on what they think of Love Actually. And if you have a favorite memory of the Candlelight Processional, I would love for you to share it. And as we look forward to our next episode, we're going to continue our look at Christmas movies, and we're going to take a look at the recently released A Very Jonas Brothers Christmas. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.